Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Before I get started, I just want to mention that this hoodie here is a creative decision on my part, and it's, I don't know if you can see it, it says University of Copenhagen, and I'm wearing it because I'm talking about books with unique settings today, and I personally think there should be many more books set in Copenhagen, which is why I'm writing a book set in Copenhagen. Anyway, I know this was a top 5 Wednesday topic a couple of weeks ago, but I don't do top 5 Wednesdays. And I really like talking about books with unique settings. I really like reading books with unique settings. So I picked out 4 that I've read and loved, and I'm going to recommend them to you all today. Okay. I did try and pick different ones than what I usually talk about, but one of them slipped in. And I also, by the way, I define unique settings as something that isn't set in America or the UK or even Australia now, because obviously I live in Australia, so it's not really a unique setting for me. But let's talk. So first book here I have Sisterhood Everlasting by Anne Brashares. This is the 5th and final book in the Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants series. This one came out like 10 years after the original 4, and it is set, I don't know, I think it's set like 5 or so years in the future. Well, 5 years after the end of the last book, I believe. Like the other 4, this one is partially set in Greece, and it's also set in America because they're American, and there's also a little segue to Australia. Yeah, and it's very awesome. I don't actually own the other 4 books, otherwise I would have shown those up, because at least the first book, there's a lot more Greece in that one, but yeah, I just had to go with this one. I love this series. This was one of the first series I read as a child. I suppose it's a YA, really, maybe a new adult, depending on their age. And yeah, I read this when I was 8 or 9, and yeah, I just love it. So yeah, the next one I have is definitely a favourite of mine, and it is Masquerade by Kylie Fornasia. This is set in 1750 Venice during Carnival. It's incredible, guys. Kylie is an Australian author, and oh, this book, it's so good. It will rip your heart out a bit, more than a bit. But it's so great, and Kylie actually went to Venice to research this book, so it is amazing, and yeah, you should absolutely pick it up. I'm also reading Kylie's, well, by the time this video has gone up, I will have read Kylie's new book, and I will be talking about that in a video because it is about a topic very near and dear to my heart. I have a Twitter notification. The next one, I have another Australian author, Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. For a while on my channel, this was in all of my videos. I read it at the very start. It was the first book I read in 2015, and I loved it, and I still love it, and I really want to reread it this year. But I haven't had time yet. It's definitely on the list though. This one is set in Iceland in 1829, and it's about a woman named Agnes who has been, what's the word I'm looking for? accused of murder, and she's being put to death, but at first she goes to live with this family in this really far out place in Iceland. I mean, it's Iceland, how, you know, how much further out can you get? Yeah, Iceland in 1829, there's not going to be much there. But this is incredible, and I just, you don't think you're ever going to care for Agnes. I mean, she murdered people, but she's so just like interesting and incredible, and I loved this book. And I really wish Hannah Kent already had a new book out, because I love her stuff. This is the only thing she's published, but oh. So yeah, I really want more of her stuff. Absolutely would recommend. This is adult, but look at all those awards. So you should read it. And finally, the one that slipped in that I do talk about quite a lot, maybe not so much here on this channel, but I talk about it a lot on my blog, Between Shades of Grey by Rita Sepetys. This is probably one of my favourite books. Not probably, it is one of my favourite books of all time. It's about World War II. I love World War II. It's 1941 to be exact, and it's about a 15-year-old girl named Lena, and she lives in Lithuania. And then one night the Soviets come along and they take her mother and her brother, and her father's already disappeared somewhere, and they take them to a remote, I don't know why I said to a remote part, because it's Siberia. Again, Siberia, 1941, probably not a whole lot there. This will literally tear your heart out. You will cry for days and days, and I read this like, when did I finish high school? Like 4 years ago, and I still cry about it sometimes. It's just, oh, it's so good. If you saw my mid-year book freakout, I did mention that there is a companion novel, and I really like the character in that, Joanna, who is Lena's cousin. That one takes place in Germany, a little bit different. It's called Salt to the Sea. It is just as incredible, but this one does hold a very special place in my heart. So there we go. Those are the books I wanted to talk about. There are another like 10 or so that I own that I could talk about, but I just haven't got the time to do that. So maybe I'll do like another part of this one day. But yeah, for now, those are the 4 I wanted to show you. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time, which should be in a couple of days, I hope.